World War II, the most devastating conflict in history. When we think of this war, we often picture famous generals, political leaders, and iconic moments of battle. But what if I told you that some of the greatest heroes from that time remain hidden in the pages of history? Today, we're uncovering the stories of the unsung heroes of World War II, ordinary people who, against all odds, made a difference in ways few have heard of. While the soldiers on the front lines certainly deserve our respect and admiration, many others worked behind the scenes. They were the spies, the nurses, the codebreakers, and everyday citizens who risked everything. Their courage and resilience kept the wheels of the war effort turning and saved countless lives. Today, we'll explore 5 stories of these lesser-known heroes. By the end of this video, you'll have a deeper appreciation for the people who helped shape history, often without recognition. Our first stop is England. During the war, the German military communicated using a highly complex system called the Enigma code. This code was thought to be unbreakable, but at a quiet mansion called Bletchley Park, a group of mathematicians, engineers, and even puzzle lovers worked day and night to crack it. Led by the brilliant Alan Turing, they managed to break the code and gave the Allies a critical advantage. Their work is estimated to have shortened the war by up to 2 years, saving millions of lives. Turing and his team of codebreakers worked in complete secrecy. Their days were filled with intense concentration, long hours, and almost no recognition. Imagine working tirelessly to save lives, knowing you couldn't share what you achieved, even with family. That was the reality for Bletchley Park's codebreakers. They became unsung heroes because their contributions weren't revealed for decades. Next, we move to the Soviet Union, where a group of fearless women flew under the cover of darkness. Known as the Night Witches, these young women piloted old, slow planes made of wood and canvas. They would turn off their engines and glide silently over German positions, dropping bombs before flying away undetected. The German soldiers were so terrified of them that they called these brave women the Night Witches. Imagine flying into enemy territory, barely armed, with outdated equipment, all while knowing the odds were against you. These women completed over 30,000 missions, bringing fear to the enemy and hope to their allies. They became legends, proving that even the most modest resources could make a powerful impact with enough courage. Our third hero brings us to Lithuania, where a Japanese diplomat named Shiuni Sugihara was stationed during the early years of the war. Sugihara faced a moral dilemma. His government had ordered him not to issue travel visas to Jewish refugees. But as the Nazi forces closed in, he knew he had to act. Against his government's wishes, Sugihara started issuing visas by hand, often working tirelessly through the night. Sugihara's efforts were heroic. He knew he risked his career, but his compassion was greater than his fear of punishment. By the end of his mission, he had written thousands of visas that allowed Jewish families to escape Nazi-controlled areas. When his own son asked why he was risking everything, Sugihara replied, "I may have to disobey, but I cannot ignore these people's suffering." This quiet act of defiance saved countless lives. In 1943, the Nazis planned to arrest and deport Denmark's Jewish population. The Danish resistance responded with a massive, coordinated rescue. This wasn't just an operation led by soldiers or government officials, it was a community effort. Fishermen, farmers, doctors, and regular citizens worked together, risking their lives to hide Jewish families and transport them to neutral Sweden. Imagine living under constant threat, knowing that any mistake could cost you and the people you're protecting their lives. The Danish people acted out of a sense of shared humanity. By the time the Nazis carried out their plan, 95% of Denmark's Jewish population had already escaped. This incredible effort proves that bravery isn't limited to the battlefield. Sometimes it happens in small towns, on fishing boats, or in family homes. On the other side of the world, a unique group of soldiers served in the Pacific Theater, the Navajo Code Talkers. These Native American soldiers used their language to create an unbreakable code for the U.S. military. Their code, based on the Navajo language, was so complex that it couldn't be deciphered by the Japanese military. It became one of the Allies' most powerful secret weapons. The Navajo code talkers were essential in the success of key operations. Their code saved lives and helped turn the tide of battles. Yet, for years, their contributions went unrecognized. These men stood out not just as heroes in the fight against the Axis powers but as proud representatives of their culture. Today, we honor them for their bravery and the unique gift they brought to the war effort. Finally, let's not forget the unsung heroes who cared for the wounded, the nurses. These women and men worked under unimaginable conditions, treating injuries and diseases, often right on the battlefield. They saved lives and comforted the dying, risking their own safety to ensure soldiers received care. The stories of wartime nurses are often overlooked, but their role was vital. Imagine working long hours surrounded by suffering, with limited supplies, and with little recognition. Their dedication reminds us that sometimes, heroism is about caring for others, even when it seems impossible. These are just a few of the unsung heroes of World War II. While they may not be household names, their impact is immeasurable. From codebreakers to resistance fighters, each of them found a way to stand up against overwhelming odds. Their courage teaches us that heroism comes in many forms and that you don't need medals or fame to make a difference. Let us remember and share their stories. Because by honoring their sacrifices, we keep their legacies alive and inspire future generations. In times of struggle, it's these hidden heroes who remind us of the power of resilience, compassion, and the courage to stand up for what's right.